Well, hey there, folks. In this video, we're going to be looking at solving exponential equations. And this is assuming that you already have an idea of what an exponential equation is. And there is a video that I had. It's an introduction to exponential equations. So we have growth equations, and then we have other ones that are called decay. And those videos I'm assuming you've already seen. Okay? In this video here, we're just going to be focusing on an equation like this, and it's a situation where you have to solve for x, and x is in the exponent, and it's a little different because it's got its own set of rules basically, and we're going to practice that right now, how to deal with that. Okay, so here's what you do. If you get a situation like this, 2 to the power of x, or 2 exponent x, equals 8, you need to make 8 have the same base as this side over here. You want to think of what base of 2, so I'll just write it down like this. 2 to the x, 2 to the exponent x. 2 to the power of what would equal 8? Well, it would be 2 times 2 is 4, and then another 4 times 2 would be 8. So 2 to the power of 3 would be 8. And what we're going to do is bring down these exponents. Now that you have the base the same, all you have to do is write it out. I'm going to put it in green, I guess. X equals 3. You write those down. And in this situation here, the question is done. X is 3. And we know that, like, even if I had asked you to guess, 2 to the power, or 2 to the exponent what would equal 8, you would say, hey, it's 2 to the power of 3. So x equals 3, and we would be done. Okay? You might get a question that looks like this, though. Okay, well, let's start off by rewriting this 2, and then the exponent is x minus 5. Now let's try and make this 16 to have a base of 2. Sometimes you can't do that, and then you have to be more creative, but in this case, it's going to work, because we know that 2 to the power of 3 was 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So 2 to the power of 4 is the same thing as 16. So we can write 2 to the power of 4. Do you remember the next step, everybody? That's right. You bring down the base, and sometimes in math class I would make a joke of the Price is Right and say, come on down. And bad joke. But anyway, you'd have x minus 5 equals 4. And then from there, and I was supposed to write that in a different color, my apologies. And then from there, you just get the x all by itself. So let's get rid of this negative 5 right here. If you remember, we have to get rid of it by adding 5 to both sides. I may not always show this step just because I'm assuming you already know this stuff. But we end up with x equals 9. And you could check it to see if that's true. 9 minus 5 is 4. And 2 to the power of 4 is definitely 16. So this question is definitely correct. Okay? Do you see the steps involved? Make the bases the same, bring down the exponents, and then solve for x. Now that I think you've got it, the basics, let's try a few more questions and see if you can, and if you want, you can push pause and move ahead of me. But of course, there's some curveballs here that make it a little more difficult. Like this one over here, you're going to have to remember how to deal with something called rational exponents, which is another video that I have. And I would assume you have already done that before doing this one here. So I'm going to go through these with you right now. Okay, so in this case here, we're going to make, and it's helpful to have a calculator close by just in case you can't do it in your head. But I'm going to rewrite 2 to the exponent 6x, and then 2 to the power of what would make 64? Well, 2 to the power of, if we go back to this question, 2 to the power of 4 was 16. 16 times 2 is 32, and 32 times 2 is 64. So of course you don't have to do this in your head. You can do this on a calculator, but just check. 2 to the power of 6 should be 64. Those of you that forget, some calculators have a button that looks like this. So you'd go 2 and then you'd hit this button and then a 6. Some calculators have a button that looks like this. And you'd go 2 and then that button and then the 6, and then you would have, hopefully, 64 is your answer. Let's get rid of those. Here we go. Let's bring down, now that we have the base the same, come on down. And I'm going to write, I don't know, in red. So 6x equals 6. I want to get x all by itself. The way to get x all by itself is to get rid of this 6 in front. And the way to do that is to divide both sides by 6. So x is going to be equal to 1. And you can verify if that's true. Put the 1 right here. 6 times 1 is just 1. Hey, x definitely has to be 1. All right, let's try the next question. And I think I'm just going to erase as I go. I'm going to clear the ink. Clear the air. No. Okay, so if you remember a past video that I made, it was called Zero and Negative Exponents. You'll remember how to deal when you have a situation like this, okay? It's called Zero and Negative Exponents. Kind of introduces what to do when you have a fraction like this. Anyway, what I'm going to do is rewrite 3 to the exponent 4x minus 1. And over here, we have 243 on the bottom. I'm going to start by saying, is there a base of 3 that can make 243? If we had an exponent up here, and if you take your calculator and you fool around with it enough, you'll see that if we put a 5 there, 3 to the exponent 5, I always say 3 to the power of 5. I'm not sure if that's acceptable or not. I just say it that way. My apologies if it's wrong. Anyway, 3 to the exponent 5 is 243. So what we can do here is bring this up to the numerator, and if you remember that video, you can rewrite this. What you can do to make this come up to the numerator is you can make it a negative 5 right here. Okay? Now things are looking really hopeful because all we have to do is say come on down to the exponents, and we'll have 4x minus 1 is equal to negative 5, and just simply get 4 all by itself. So I'm going to go over here and continue to do that. So I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides to get rid of it. That would make a negative 4 there. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And if I divide both sides by 4, I get the answer of x equals negative 1. I could check that if I wanted. I could see that 4 times negative 1 is negative 4 right here. And then negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. 3 exponent negative 5 is the exact same thing as this. Okay? So we've just checked it. We definitely have the right answer here. Okay, let's move on to the last question on this page. I'm going to clear the ink again. This last question on this page is definitely the trickiest one. And man, math always seems to get from sort of basic questions, and they always like to throw curveballs at you, right? Well, let's do this one just like the other ones. Let's start by just rewriting this here. And then let's look over at that cube root of 216 that we see right here. We have to remember something from a video that I have on rational exponents. And what you'll remember is that 216 can be written like this. 216 is the same thing as writing, sorry, the cube root of 216 is the same thing as writing 216 to the 1/3, the exponent of 1/3. So that's a video that you should watch if you don't remember how the heck I just did this, all right? But let's think about the base now. Can 36 to the power of something make 216? And just to speed things up, I'll tell you, it won't work. 36 to the power of something, it's not a base that we can use, okay? We need to make these bases the same. Well, if you know your times tables, you know that 6 times 6 is 36. So I'm going to show you 6 to the, oops, what am I doing? 6 to the power of 2 is the same thing as 36. But we have an exponent still here of 4x plus 2. How do you deal with that? Well, you write it down. But I'm going to put it in brackets because we're going to have to multiply them together. All right, now 216. If you fool around on your calculator long enough, you will see that it won't take that long, because 6 to the power of 3 will give you 216. But don't forget, you still have 1/3 here. Okay, so for both of these situations on the left side and the right side, before we say come on down, we're going to have to multiply this stuff out. So 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times 2 is 4. There we go. Now we've got that exponent properly done. Now let's do this one. What's 3 times 1/3? Boy, there's a lot of stuff to remember. You have to remember how to multiply fractions now, folks. And that goes back a ways back in your schooling. But anyway, 3 times 1/3, as you'll know, is 3 over 3, which is really just 1. Okay, so 3 times 1/3 is really just 3 over 3, which is just 1. Okay? Now we're going to say come on down, and I'm going to get the red pen, say come on down to both of those folks, and you get 8x plus 4 is equal to 1. Let's complete this. Let's finish doing this over here. Bring the 4 over to this side, and you're going to get negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. And this question's not going to work out real nice like the other questions. Divide both sides by 8, and you're going to get negative 3 over 8 as your answer. If you were planning to check this question, it wouldn't be so easy because, of course, our answer didn't turn out to be a whole number like our other answers did. So I'll just give you a way for a technique for checking your answer really quick. You would just go on your calculator, negative 3 divided by 8. I think you get negative 3 divided by 8. You get negative 0.375, I believe. And you would plug that in where x is right here. And if you did everything correctly, I think you would end up getting 6 as an answer. And and the same thing would happen on this side. You would end up getting 6, because the cube root of 216 is 6. So you would end up getting the same answer. It's just definitely a trickier question. Okay? Let's do one more bonus question, and then we are done. Okay, this question's pretty weird. It's not so straightforward, just because you can see the 81 there and the 27. So I'll tell you right now, the first thing we could do is just make the bases the same. Now, all of these numbers, 9 to the power of 2 is 81. So 9 squared is 81, and that would be fine. But 9 to the power of something like something nice is not 27. So let's think of another base that could become all of these numbers, 9, 81, and 27. And if you think about it for a little while, you'll find that it's 3. Okay, so 3 squared will make 9. So we can do it like this. You already are familiar with that part. And then over here we have 81. So 3 to the power of what makes 81? Take your calculator. 3 to the power of, let's see, 3 to the power of 4 will make 81. And then over here we have 27. Oops, sorry, not 27. We're going to go with 3. Sorry. 3 to the power of 3. And that will make 27. And we also have an x there, so don't forget the x. I'll just put them together right now just to make it quicker. Okay, so we have all this stuff. I'm going to rewrite this. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 1 is 2. And over here we have, okay, this is a video from the past. When you're multiplying two things with the same base, okay, two expressions with the same base, we have 3 there and a 3 there. The rule is, and it's called an exponent law, and there is a video for that too if you wish, you have to add the exponents. So what we do is we add up 4 and 3x. Okay, 4 plus 3x is just 4 plus 3x. In fact, I'm going to write them like this because it doesn't matter what order you write them in. But there we have two bases that are the same, and we can now bring down the exponents. Okay, I'm going to say come on down. and then we're going to solve for these. 4x plus 2 equals 3x plus 4. Let's get x all by itself. I'm going to bring this 3x over to this side, which means I'm going to subtract it from both sides. That'll leave me with x. I'm going to bring this 2 over to the right side. That's subtracting 2 from both sides. And I get x equals 2 as an answer. You can check the answer really somewhat quickly. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So 9 to the power of 5, and I'm doing it on my calculator, is a really big number. 5, 9, there we go, 0, 4, 9. Let's see if we get the same answer. 27 squared, 27 to the power of 2, is 729. And I'm going to times that by the 81 in the front. And instead of writing it down, I'm just going to tell you I got the same answer. This has to be the right answer. Okay, hopefully that helps you get through some questions like this. And I will stop talking now. Have a good day.